Now on 767 News, Integrity Commission hosts forum to sensitize media workers on its functions and purpose. Honorable Lennox Linton re-elected as opposition leader, and the Ministry of Education launches a new website. In sports, element agency LA Stars faces defeat in first game in 5 matches. Welcome to a new week with 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Stay tuned for the latest news and developments after this break.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever 6. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Hello, my name is Mikkel Henderson. I write and perform songs to earn a living. I depend on organizations like Echo to collect my royalties when my music is played in public, like on the radio, at jams, restaurants, hotels, bars, and even here on Digicel Play. Because Echo has relations with more than 200 copyright agencies around the world, I'm guaranteed to collect royalties when my music is played in places like France, Germany, Italy, the US, the United Kingdom, and almost anywhere in the world. Echo and the work it does is essential to make sure that the writers and composers like myself can continue to make the music we all love and enjoy. Just remember, let the music pay.
Welcome back. First up this news time, the Integrity Commission, recognizing the need, hosted a session with local media last Friday to discuss the Integrity in Public Office Act 2003. The meeting was organized to allow dialogue with members of the media about the purpose of the Public Office Act and the functions of the Commission under the Act and its advances. Heading the discussion, Julian Johnson, chairman of the Integrity Commission in Dominica, reiterated his sentiments during the Commission's swearing-in ceremony at the State House on September 2nd, 2008, that sometimes the mass media can get it wrong and can be unfair and serve sectional interests. It is in the interest of good practice that the session was organized, Johnson indicated. He sought first to clarify the number of members of the commission, stating that the Act establishes a commission of 7 persons, 5 political appointees on the advice of the government leader and the opposition leader, and 2 non-political appointees, 1 appointed under recommendation of the Bar Association and another on the advice of the Accountancy Association of Dominica.
Notwithstanding the fact that there are 5 members are appointed on the advice of politicians, the Act itself and the applicable principles of public law governing the exercise of any public function require that all members on the Commission, and I want to emphasize this, bring an independent and impartial mind to the execution of their statutory functions and duties. And they must act in good faith.
The Act of 2003 seeks to provide for the establishment of an Integrity Commission for the purpose of receiving declarations on the financial affairs for persons holding specific positions in public life, for the purpose of establishing property, integrity, and accountability in public life in the Commonwealth of Dominica, and for related matters.
There is a lot of discussion in the public, and they're saying that the IPO should do this, the IPO should do that. As I stated earlier, the IPO must act within the 4 corners of the legislation that Parliament has passed. So therefore, there are other things happening in the society which people will consider, quote unquote, corrupt, irregular, not good governance. But there are other institutions of the Constitution, and there are other institutions established by Parliament to deal with some of those issues. And I list some of those. For example, if there are situations dealing with public procurement, And there was a lot, and they sung a lot of song on that. There were incidents in the public domain on that. There is the accounting officer in the ministry has a role, a statutory role. The director of audit has jurisdiction over such expenditure. And the director of audit then sends his report to Parliament. And the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament also has jurisdiction in terms of the management of or the expenditure of public funds. So it's not necessarily a matter for the Commission, but there are other persons, authorities, and institutions under the Constitution and under ordinary laws who have powers and responsibilities in that regard. So I've listed some of those there for you. I told you what the organization of the Commission are. To perform our functions, we found it necessary to divide ourselves into three committees. A Finance and Administrative Committee, and on that committee we put persons with the finance and auditing experience, like Mr. Lazar, the former financial secretary and financial consultant, and we have the Accountancy Association representative, Mr. Smith it was, and now it is Mr. Lennox John Baptist, and we put persons with some legal expertise on that committee as well. So Mr. Laron is on it, I think Mr. John Charles is on it, and Ms. St. Jean, are you on that committee as well? Committee. So we put on that committee persons with legal and accounting expertise. And our first examination of all such declarations received is done by that committee before the entire commission gets involved in the exercise. We also have a rules committee because one of our functions require that we produce rules of procedure for the commission. And we have drafted and sent to the Ministry of Legal Affairs a set of rules in that regard. And we have also passed our inquiry rules to assist us in conducting the Section 33 inquiry I spoke to you about earlier. And we have, of course, an Information and Public Relations Committee headed by Ms. Seja, which is the one responsible for organizing this seminar here today and other seminars that we have had for persons in public life. And I have given addresses to DIC, Rotary Club, and other jurisdictions within the Caribbean on the functioning of the Dominica Integrity Commission. We have made, obviously, having administered the legislation for 5 years, we are aware of the many deficiencies in the legislation. There are ambiguities, conceptual and otherwise, in the wording of some of the sections. There are difficulties in the list, in clearly delineating or defining, identifying the list of persons in public life who fall within our jurisdiction. And we have submitted a number of recommendations, both on the Act itself and on their schedules for the consideration of government. And if you look at our 211 annual report, Appendix 6, you will find a detailed listing of all such recommendations. And I'd ask the staff of the Commission to append that list to your document. I'm not sure if it's done. Do you have it? At the back of the document, you'll find a comprehensive list of all the recommendations that we have made to the government in respect to amending the Act, the structure of the
These concerns may include issues of public procurement, he said. Johnson added that over the years, the Commission has received a number of complaints in relation to non-compliance of government ministers with the provisions of the Act, including the Code of Conduct, 2 of which were rejected for want of jurisdiction.
We did not go into the merits of the complaint because the complaint dealt with matters and conduct that took place before the Act came into force. And you can understand why there is this principle of law. Because right now we are meeting here, 20 of us, the law permits that. But suppose a law was passed next month and made that kind of gathering illegal retrospectively. You could see how unjust it would be. because at the time that you were meeting, you were unaware that there was any law which prohibited that conduct.
Johnson said the commission also received a complaint in relation to the acceptance of gifts, benefits, and advantages by a minister in contravention of the Code of Conduct. That too was rejected as it lacked the particularity required by Section 31 of the Act, which states a complaint made to the commission regarding the breach of the provision of the Code of Conduct must provide particulars of the breach.
You must provide the following: particulars of the breach. The particulars as far as they are known of the person against whom the complaint is made, the nature of the evidence that the complainant proposes to produce in respect of the complaint. And the complaint in question did not meet the statutory criteria, and we were required to reject it.
Other complaints were rejected on similar grounds, the Integrity Commission chairman explained. The Integrity Commission is in its 6th year of operation. And political leader of the United Workers' Party, Lennox Linton, was re-elected unopposed when the party held its 27th Delegates Conference on Sunday. The party's deputy leader is newcomer to the political arena, Joshua Francis, who pulled off a major victory when he defeated long-standing Labour Party member Ambrose George, who was a Roseau South parliamentary representative. Francis, who was elected unopposed, took the reins from former deputy political leader Claudius Sanford, who unsuccessfully contested the Kalinago Territory constituency for the 3rd consecutive time at the December 8, 2014 general election. Sanford did not make himself available for re-election. Newcomer to the political arena, Ronald Charles defeated the Roseau Central parliamentary representative Joseph Isaac 94-90 to secure the post of president of the party. Former UWP president Ezekiel Basil did not put himself up for re-election. Hector John is the new vice president. Diane Victor is a general secretary, while Andrea Kentish will serve as assistant secretary. Dr. Thompson Fontaine was elected international secretary. Nicholas George will serve as public relations officer, while Alex Birmingham is a treasurer and Jefferson James assistant treasurer. Former Prime Minister Edison James, Norris Prevost, and Ronald Green were also re-elected trustees of the party. In other stories, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development launched its brand new website, www.education.gov.dm, today, Monday, March 1st. Minister responsible for that ministry, Honorable Peter Sejan, said the website will feature extensive content targeted at education stakeholders who wish to access information and other resource material. The website provides soft copy application letters, forms, examination information, scholarship opportunities, and vacancies, among other features.
Stakeholders can also access the laws which guide the education sector here in Dominica. Also on the website, one will find contact information for all of our schools here in Dominica. And there are several links which will take users to our key development partners, including the Dominica State College and the Caribbean Examination Council, CXC.
The website will also serve as a news portal and is connected to the ministry's social media feeds. Students' achievements and other accomplishments at schools and within the ministry will be highlighted regularly as an added feature. Minister Sejan said as a lead ministry within the government services, it was only right that they launched this website.
We live in a technologically advancing age, and consequently the Ministry of Education, one of the lead ministries within the government service, we felt it absolutely necessary that we cannot expose our children to the technology and that the ministry operates without a website.
The website is a collaborative effort between the ministry's public relations arm and the officers of the Education Management Information System, EMIS, and was designed by Charles George, an EMIS officer. And a number of secondary school students are now more knowledgeable on the qualities of a leader after participating from an Emerging Leaders Conference on Saturday at the University of the West Indies Open Campus. In an interview with 767 News, officer in charge at UWI, Kimon Joseph, said this was the second segment of the conference.
That is being done by our student guild, and it is really to give young leaders in the high schools of Dominica a chance to come together, first of all, and secondly, to improve their leadership skills. We had the first segment at the end of January, and now at the end of February, we're doing the second segment.
Joseph said the conference was an opportunity for the youth to learn and improve on their skills. It is also hoped that the students themselves can teach the information learned to their classmates while working with various clubs, groups, and organizations.
The students were picked essentially as a pilot program because this is the first time that the University of the West Indies Open Campus Student Guild is embarking on this conference, leadership conference. And so they chose Convent High School, St. Mary's Academy, St. Martin's Secondary School, and Wesley High School as the pilot program. So far, it has been very successful. We had the first program at the end of January, and we hope that once the Student Guild has evaluated the entire project, that we'll be able to open it up to the other schools in Dominica, the other secondary schools in Dominica.
Student of the St. Mary's Academy, Regil Tit, said the conference will help him on his quest to be a leader.
As I'm the leader of the chess club in my school, I believe this can help me better manage it and help me manage other things in school also.
Student of the Convent High School, Selena Cuffey, said the leadership skills gained will assist her in the management of the clubs she is involved in at her school.
I am the part of the executive in the Communications Club, the Choral Speech Club, my house, the St. Teresa House, and of course, I am part of the dance group and the anti-bullying movement.
Cuffey added the skills learned at the conference will also assist her in her daily activities. An assignment will be conducted to determine the likelihood for another conference later this year, which will include other secondary schools. Discover Dominica anticipates more from the newly launched Dominica Film Challenge 2.0. More details when we return.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever six. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Pay absolutely nothing down and nothing further until Easter this carnival at Courts. Yes, it's time to head down to Courts and get everything for your home today and pay absolutely nothing until Easter. Offer applies to credit purchases 24 months and over. Plus, we'll even give you a chance to trade in your old item for something brand new for a nice discount. Up to $400 off. We'll even haul away the old item when we deliver the new. You've got to rush down to Courts today and enjoy this carnival with nothing down and absolutely nothing to pay until Easter. Plus, trade in for a discount. Courts, bringing value home.
Thanks for staying with us. The increase in motor vehicle theft has prompted the police force to advise more vehicle owners to take proactive measures to mitigate against vehicular theft. In an interview with 767 News, Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Wicks said the rise in motor vehicle theft is cause for concern for the police.
In recent times, we've seen a few reports come in with respect to stealing of motor vehicle, what we call taking conveyance, as well as tampering with motor vehicles. As I speak, there is one man in custody assisting police with respect to entering or tampering with motor vehicles. This is indeed cause for concern, and you mentioned a particular type of vehicle, namely Corolla. Now, Corolla vehicles, Toyota Corollas are kind of unique vehicles, and I'm sure that what would drive persons to steal in these vehicles or seeking to tamper with them is to get the parts or a part or particular parts from these vehicles.
ASP Wicks said the public has to be vigilant as thieves, after stealing vehicles, quickly strip them of their parts to be sold later. The police PRO says vehicular theft, also known as taking conveyance, is a very serious indictable offense.
Whatever means possible to assist in mitigating these kinds of crimes, theft of motor vehicles or tampering with the motor vehicles. If alarms are installed in the vehicles, it can assist. Of course, the alarm go off, and when it goes off, obviously it will alert the passers-by if the owner is in the immediate vicinity, and so forth and so forth. So, in one way or the other, we must admit that the alarm will assist. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work as well. But what is critical is whatever means that can be employed to ensuring that our vehicles and the property on a whole are safe.
The senior police officer said vehicle owners need to also be aware of individuals who would question them about their vehicle, posing as prospective buyers. However, could be fishing for loopholes to target an unsuspecting individual.
We just really, truly must be very wise now, very, very wise. We've got to be vigilant. Of course, the police, we continue on our patrols, but like we always said, we can't be everywhere at the same time. Yes, we're investigating, but as property owners, as people in Dominica on a whole, we just have to be vigilant, because there are those who have the affinity to committing mischief, the propensity to committing mischief, and really we've got to stop them in their tracks early and not take it lightly.
ASP Weeks noted there are individuals who are aware of various crimes occurring on the island, yet remain silent. He is calling on the cooperation of all to assist the police in its crime-fighting efforts. In recent times, a number of owners of older model Nissan Sunny cars have been victims of vehicular theft. Reports suggest that these vehicles are being stripped down of their parts to be resold. And 40-year-old Erickson Sampson of St. Joseph has been sentenced to 2 years hard labor for the offense of theft. Sampson appeared before Magistrate Bernard Paquette and pleaded guilty to stealing a number of items, including a solar panel, binoculars, and a flashlight from a shed from York Valley Estate. The incident occurred on January 27, 2015. The complainant reported the matter to police, and acting on information received, the police went in search of the defendant and informed him of the report, also telling him that they had heard he had stolen the items and that they were at his house. He denied having any knowledge of the offense. However, when police executed a search warrant at Sampson's home, they found the missing items. Sampson told police he had received them from a man who was found dead in Layu recently. He told police if the complainant said the items belonged to her, he was not aware, but he had received them from the dead man who requested that he hold on to them for him. Mitigating on his behalf, attorney David Bruni told the court his client had cooperated with police and at his age, he should by now realize that crime doesn't pay. Sampson has had at least 4 previous convictions for theft. In other news, 6 teams of the most talented videographers from around the world are currently participating in the 2nd annual Dominica Film Challenge organized by the Discover Dominica Authority, DDA. The 6 teams arrived in Dominica on Saturday, February 28th, where they attended a brief welcome ceremony at the Anchorage Hotel. During the ceremony, CEO of the DDA, Colin Piper, who officially welcomed the participants to the Nature Isle, told them that they have a lot to experience on this island.
We want you to chronicle it in your own way, and we want you to spread that message far and wide. That is one of the reasons why you have been selected from the pool of applicants, and so we know you're ready, willing, and able, and we look forward to you doing that.
Participants will spend a week on the island and are invited to tell the story of Dominica in their own creative way, whether through a short film, travelogue, photography project, or some other creative social media endeavor. Michael Crabell, executive producer of the Dominica Film Challenge, said this is a passionate project for him and his partner as it incorporates their love for narrative storytelling and Dominica. Last year, Crabell said the challenge received 60 million impressions, including footage and still shots.
This is really about your experience and wrapping your head, your mind, and your body around this island and what it has to offer. And we truly want you guys to have the creative freedom to dig into it and explore and really go after it. This is, I equate this to being offered the best sort of National Geographic assignment that there's ever been, to say, hey, there's this really fascinating island in the Caribbean that is sort of unexplored, undiscovered to the outside world. We want you to go figure out what it is that makes the heartbeat of the island there. And I have no doubt that by the time we have dinner on Friday and you're leaving on Saturday, you'll be forever changed by this place.
The challenge began today, March 2nd, and will conclude on March 6th with the final project submission to be posted online for a public vote in mid-May. Teams will compete against each other for the creative challenge portion of the expedition, with prizes being awarded to the teams that best portray the image of Dominica and their search to discover their inner explorer, all while raising awareness of Dominica's natural beauty, attractions, and cultural heritage through their social media networks. And that's it for local news tonight. The latest in sports news is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
On the night of January the 9th, 1990, the piercing silence of the sleepy town of Soufrière would be shattered by the collective screams of resounding terror.
Leave me alone. I tell you not to touch me. I tell you not to touch me. Listen, you're not being your side. I tell you not to touch me. Don't touch me.
Who did you cut first?
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. Element Agency's Lime LA Stars suffered their first defeat after 5 matches in Group 4 as action continues on Thursday evening in the Dominica Football Association Division 1 League. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald George, has the details.
In the first match of a doubleheader at the Baffin State playing field, Gawley Dream Team made it 3 wins from 5 matches in Group 1 with a 1-0 victory over Malta India Harlem United. Brenton Webster scored for Gawley Dream Team, while in the second match of the night, MV Maxano Bombers edged out Element Agency's Lime LA Stars 2-1. Horace Mills and Yanel Joseph scored 1 each for Bombers.
In more football, Gerald also has the results of matches played over the weekend in the National Leagues of the Dominica Football Association.
We begin with the Dominic Women Sunday, where defending champions New India Goodwill Runners defeated league leaders New Generation Sports Club 1-0 at the Baffin State playing field. Mariah Esprit scored for Goodwill Runners, while at the Benjamin Park in Portsmouth, Mao Soka Strikettes defeated Bomber Starlights 5-3. Romelcia Philip registered a hat-trick for Soka Strikettes with 1 each from Wendy Esprit and Micheline Morgan. Donisha Xavier and Akima Sejas scored for Starlight.
In the Division 1 League on Friday, Jays Limited Grand 4 Young Boys failed to show up for their match against Itasi United at the Baffin State playing field. At the Port playing field in Point Michel, the match between Petro Caribe Point Michel and RSC Kensborough was called off 3 minutes into the first half due to technical difficulties with the lighting on the field. In more sports, the curtains came down in the Lime Premier Division League on Sunday, with Harlem United defeating Sagicor Southeast by 2-1 at the Port playing field. Montel James and Chris McIntyre scored for Harlem, while Southeast's goal came from a Harlem player. In the second match, newly crowned champions Exodus FC could not field the team in their match against Scotiabank Baffin State. In table tennis, 4 days of action in the school's table tennis championship came to an end with the finals of the primary school's boys and girls open singles on Friday. Cher Seaman of the Vickers Primary School defeated last year's female champion, Janila Phillip of the Wesley Primary School, in straight sets, 11-3, 11-6, and 11-3. The Will Strathmore Stevens Primary School continued to dominate and was the sole school featuring in the boys' final, with Ernest Edwards and Aaron Nisbet being the top players. After being down 2-0, Ernest Edwards rallied from behind to defeat his worthy opponent 6-11, 6-11, 11-9, 11-8, and 11-7. And in more table tennis, earlier in the week, the secondary schools championships ended with the Portsmouth Secondary School, PSS, leading the team events with wins in both under-16 boys and girls and the under-20 girls categories. The other top contenders, the Northeast Comprehensive School, took first place in both boys and girls under-14 categories, while the Dominica State College won the under-20 boys category. In the female open singles, Alia Prince of the Portsmouth Secondary School successfully defended her title when she defeated Brianna Antwine, who is also a student of the Portsmouth Secondary School. In the boys category, Chase Seaman of the Dominica State College defeated Desmond Boney of the Northeast Comprehensive School in what was a repeat of last year's final. The sports division congratulates all the winners while sending special thanks to the brother and sister champions, Che and Cher Seaman. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports news.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Integrity Commission hosts forums to sensitize media workers on its functions and purpose. Honorable Lennox Linton re-elected as opposition leader, and Ministry of Education launches a new website. In sports, Element Agency's LA Stars face defeat in first game in 5 matches. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, and thanks for watching.